So what's next? More investigations, more prosecutions, and more prevention.
But it looks like Minnesota taxpayers are going to eventually be out billions of dollars.
America, Minnesota has officially become the fraud capital of the United States. And what I'm about to show you is going to blow your mind. We're talking about over $1 billion in taxpayer money stolen through systematic fraud schemes that have been going on for years under Tim Walz's watch. But here's what's going to make your blood boil. While federal prosecutors are calling it white-collar crime on steroids, new revelations show voter registration fraud involving 600 fake applications across 13 counties, and Walz is claiming it's just organized crime, that he had nothing to do with it. Meanwhile, legislative audits going back 20 years warned about these exact problems, but Democratic leadership ignored every single red flag.
Following the money is a full-time job for federal prosecutor Joe Thompson and his team at the U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota.
I think we've all come to understand the magnitude of the fraud problem here in Minnesota.
What is up, guys? Tyson De La Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Now, I've been covering this Minnesota fraud disaster for months. And for those that are just tuning in, what we're dealing with is the largest systematic theft of taxpayer money in American history, all happening under the watch of Tim Walz. This is the same guy that Kamala Harris picked as her running mate. Let me bring some of you guys up to speed on this Minnesota disaster, because if you haven't been following this story, you need to understand the sheer magnitude of what we're dealing with. Federal prosecutor Joe Thompson, who's been leading these investigations, made a prediction that shocked everyone. The total amount of fraudulent taxpayer money will exceed $1 billion in Minnesota.
Thompson made headlines this summer in this interview with 5 Eyewitness News reporter Jake Holes.
He expects the scope of fraudulent use of taxpayers' money will exceed $1 billion.
When Thompson was asked if he stands by that $1 billion prediction, he said, yeah, I was actually surprised that there was such a reaction to that particular comment. I thought it was so obvious. Think about that for a second, guys. A federal prosecutor thinks it's obvious that Minnesota has lost over $1 billion to fraud, and somehow Tim Walz and state Democrats act like they had no idea what was happening.
You stand by that?
Yeah, I was actually surprised that there was such a reaction to that comment.
Oh, come on. You weren't really surprised, were you?
I was. I thought that was obvious. I think ultimately we'll have prosecuted $1 billion worth of fraud.
But here